Hello and welcome, family, to another episode of Ask Dr. Mumbi. My name is Dr. Mumbi Saraki. How you doing? How's everything going? I really do pray that you are well in all your ways and that you're moving into living life truly on your own terms. We really want to thank every single person for subscribing to the channel, family. Thanks to everyone that supports us on Patreon and PayPal. We appreciate, love you so much. You guys are absolutely awesome. And I've gotten this question so many times that it's something that I haven't really wanted to address, but I think it's important, especially as we're moving into the new us, the new reality, the new earth, the new vibe. It's very important to be aware of how the old system worked. You know, we're leaving a world of magic and we're going into a world of power, family. Everything about the previous world was about rituals and magic, and the moon played such an important part. And some people say the moon is fake, some people say the moon is real, some people say it's the soul capturer of the reptilian agenda. You know, there's so many different dimensions, but the one thing we can all agree on is that the I don't know how to call them, the wizards and magicians of the previous age rely heavily on the moon to execute their agendas against us. And so it's always good, you know, for you guys who grew up in like a Christian vibe, the reason you were always told to say your prayers before you went to bed and everything was so that you could, you know, block out some of those intruders, those negative intruders into your life who would usually come at night, but they revolve heavily around the moon. And you know, actually, family, whether it's interesting, the moon, I think our conversation on the moon would be a whole other vibe. But when you look at the moon actually rises and, you know, becomes full and becomes dark, whatever you want to call it, 13 times. And our culture, before we went into the Babylon culture and this fake Gregorian agenda, we had 13 perfect, I think it was 28 days or something like that. And it worked out perfectly. And that's how even women, you know, we were able to, that's how we moved, by operating with the moon cycles, etc., etc. But those are definitely stories for other days. So it's very important, family, to just be aware of the moon and not to think of it as any kind of like mystical or dark or witchery or whatever, but to be aware of the phases of the moon and what the enemies of your soul could be using the phases of the moon for, you know. And there is a book that I'm going to share with my Patreon family, which really looks into like the different phases of the moon, from the dark to the you know, waxing moon, full moon, waning moon, dark moon, etc., new moon. And it kind of gives you, you know, different things that you can do, different intentions, because that is still like the dominant energy. And I'd love to hear from you guys in the comments about what you think about the moon. So, you know, there's the dark moon, or the new moon, which is when the moon is the darkest. And usually that is a season that people use to set forth their intentions. Actually, the dark of the moon is a season that people use to release, to discard. And the dark of the moon actually just happened just a few days ago at the beginning of April, end of May. And they'll use that time to release. And remember, beloveds, your words are power. In the beginning was a word. You're writing things as power. And so if you want to release people, places, situations, habits, that is a really good time to set your intentions and to either write it down, put it in the ocean, you know, dedicate it to Mama Ocean, burn it. There's many ways that you will be led by your spiritual team to do that. But that helps you to release a lot of the things in the dark of the moon. And then they say the new moon is perfect for setting new intentions, for setting out the new plan in your life. So if there's anything new that you want, be it land, be it a relationship, be it a job, be it finances, you would use the time of the new moon to kind of set those intentions for yourself. And, you know, and you would make it a ritual. Usually there's so many ways that people do this, family. There's ways where people have like a golden book, where they'll use that golden book to put in like their intentions at different times of the month, of the moon cycle, etc., etc. And you can either keep them or you can actually burn them. There's many ways that you can do it. And this is something you need to look deeper into, what your spiritual team says about how to conduct these rituals. It may just be writing them out and then going under your favorite tree and declaring it, you know, after taking libation and all those things. So it needs to become, your spirituality needs to be totally in your control, for you to operate fully in your truth and in your power, family. So, so that's what the new moon is used for. And then, when what they call the waxing moon, and this is when the moon appears to be growing in size, and this is a good time to focus on growth, on increasing. So anything that you want to have an increase in your life, anything that you want to experience growth in your life, you would use that time to kind of put your petitions before the universe. And this is a good way to even create cycles for your prayers, for your petitions, for your rituals, for the things that you ask your ancestors with. So the waxing moon, as the moon grows, it's also good to ask for things to grow in your life. And then the full moon is actually the most powerful phase, family. And this is when we see, the entire face of the moon illuminated, etc., etc. But this is a time when usually you should see some kind of fruition, some kind of conclusion in the petitions that you made in the new moon, depending on your power, you know what I mean? And so, or at least you'll start to see breakthroughs in the full moon. And what that time then should be used to offer gratitude, to offer thanks, for the completion of certain projects. And it may take several full moons, so you may have to put the same petitions again in the new moons. It may take several dark moons to release toxic people, toxic things, toxic, experiences, because it's all about the narratives in our heads. So now that I've shared that, that's basically why people, of the white light, or whatever you want to call them, the, light workers, people of love, that's basically what they use the moon cycles for, to manifest in their own lives. But the enemies of our soul know this. In fact, they use the moon like nobody's business. And what they use the moon for is to block everything that I said you should be planting the seed for. And they love to do magic during the dark night of the soul, or dark moon, which reflects the dark night of the soul stories for other days, and also during the full moon, family, to kind of cut your fruition, cut your, cut the prosperity that is coming into your life. And so the reason I encourage you to just be aware of the moon cycles, even if you don't want to put petitions forth and everything, is to protect your energy. Make sure you at least know when the new moon is and the full moon is, and make sure that at those times, you are protecting your energy through prayer, through spiritual baths, through meditations, through cleaning your homes thoroughly, cleaning out the energy. By taking smoke baths or something like this. This is actually Artemis, but it's white sage. But you can use many things to clear out, like your crown chakra, etc., etc. Anyway, if you have any questions about the moon cycles and why they should matter to us, let me know in the comments below. Until next time, family. Tuko pamoja.